But next I wanted to talk about is the sort of benefits to your sort of mindset and your mental health that I think this sport can bring. And when you research this sport, that seems to be one of the things that comes up is mindfulness in the sport.
100%. Like the ability to, it's the kind of, I suppose it's getting out there and doing it that gives you that mindfulness once you're in that moment. It takes you into that moment, and then that allows you to be mindful. So um, once you're doing that sport, you don't really have an option to think about a lot else. You kind of only focused on that one thing, your body, your breathing, your movement, maybe your mindset, and how that is affecting you in that moment, and whether or not that's kind of triggering you to make mistakes, or whether that's triggering you to not make the jump at all and not even want to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's it's about, if you can get into a flow state, which is something that's talked about quite a lot, it means you're able to calm down all of them things and just act really with just you and your body, and that means you're able to control your mind. Some people use flow state for doing paperwork and for a lot of other different type of mindful activities, and they allow people to get focused in and literally not leave what they're doing without and not stop what they're doing, not get distracted, not have to like go back and reread what they're doing and stuff. Just keep going with everything in fresh, know what they're going for, know what their aim is, know what the goal is. Yeah. Oh, mindfulness is a good thing. I like mindfulness myself. Some people meditate in that, like, and weird things for mindfulness, but things like exercise do give you mindfulness. It's on its own, and exercise also gives you plenty of other health benefits and stuff. So it's definitely worth getting into, like some sort of sport that can give you some extra mindfulness. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you mentioned the sort of helping with paperwork. I could definitely use with that myself at the minute with uni work. But yeah, no, it is something that it is something that needs to be talked about more. I think it is this sort of link between the mindfulness and sports. Just maybe not even specifically free running itself or parkour, but just sporting in general, which I think it does definitely help with. But moving kind of away from sport as a general thing and more on your own personal experiences. There is a YouTube channel for your stuff, and the most viewed video on that channel is uh you boys coming through to Maryport, my neck of the woods.
Yeah,
But yeah, just because
that's class.
you did a tour of Cumbria, didn't you, doing it in different places? Just tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, we're still on it. So
Well, yeah.
we basically, I started one for the parkour. This was coming off of the back end of the cheer force night thing that we did with the cheerleading company. So as that finished, we decided to basically just set off and carry on the journey. We didn't know what it was going to be, but we just carried it on, you know. So we just like, here we go, we're on a journey. Here's a tour. Let's have it. Unfortunately, I literally got injured like a few weeks later as soon as I announced that the tour was going to be on. So that was kind of just something that happens, and it was one of them things where some things happen and it gives you time to just learn loads of other things. Do you know what I mean? And progress in loads of other ways. So I used that opportunity to keep progressing my training and learn about my body, keep progressing what I needed to do to keep developing business marketing and all that stuff. And then basically got into a position where I seen the tour as an opportunity to just keep growing while showing like the progression and the history of the sport and some other things that have gone on in our areas, especially in parkour. I've met a lot of the people who have done parkour across the years in Cumbria, if not all of them. Apart from some of the real OG from Carlisle, because I only just started coming to Carlisle about 5 years ago. It was the first time I started coming to Carlisle, and before that, there was some other guys from Carlisle back in 2010 who had done a lot of amazing videos. You can find them online. There's one guy called Alex Rigby, and he's from Carlisle. And them videos are at like Tully House and at the castle and things, and at really old classic places. And the parkour that he was doing then was like still at like the really high level. and it was kind of amazing to just come across them. I used to watch them videos and be like, I'm going to come to Carlisle and meet him, and he's just gone. He took off and started doing it professionally, and he went down south and started training with Stora. I heard the professionals on YouTube. They've got like 8 million subscribers, and he trained with them when they were starting and things. And that's kind of it's fairly cool to see that, like, we've had the history, like the sport should be developed. We've even had it with skating. We've had a lot of professionals who have put a lot of work in to build their own little image and their own brands. And then from that, they've then got sponsored by bigger teams, and they've gone off around the UK and done other things and traveled a little bit around the world, whatever, as well. It's pretty. There's a big like, there's opportunity for people. There is an opportunity for us to keep creating things like this for people and to progress it more. And kind of there's so many types of revenue that could open up jobs for people, if we introduce this sort of sector like into our area. And I really want to make like I really want to give people a lot of opportunities who do put a lot of the time in as well. There's a lot of people who put the time in and maybe aren't as good as the professionals, but can still coach and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Really good. They have a really good understanding of the sport and should be able to, and even physical fitness and how to fall or how to train. And they really should be able to pass on their knowledge and things as well. Like 100%.
Yeah. Is that something we can see in your future? Looking forward to the sort of big world professional tours?
In like, I don't know. It's definitely too early to stay still. I'm training really hard, and I'm working on things all the time. So that's basically all I can do at the minute. And as soon as I've been traveling the UK a little bit, and as soon as Cumbriamovement wants to travel, and I've got a few people who want to travel with me, I'll definitely go around with some Cumbrians around the UK more, and then potentially around the world. Do you know what I mean? 100%. But I can't see me doing it by myself. I can't. I'm not gonna lie. I think it'll be, if I do it by myself, then it will be. I'll make it a hell of a show. Put it that way. I'll make it a hell of a show. I'll film a lot, and I'll make it a hell of a show if I ever do go by myself. Even if I'm 30-year-old, I'll send it. We'll go on a tour. I'll make a year tour of it, and I'll go crazy.
Good man. Well, I'll be expecting that in the next few years from the Cumbriamovement YouTube channel. But
Go on then.
But yeah, no, yeah, fantastic.